Kara Braxton's story is one of both triumph and tragedy. On February 22, 2026, the WNBA made a somber announcement on social media. Kara had passed away at just 43 years old. The post was brief, respectful, but heavy with sorrow. No details were given about her cause of death. Just the announcement, just the loss. But you could sense, through the words, through the tone, that this wasn't just another news item. The league was mourning someone who mattered deeply, someone whose presence had genuinely impacted the game and the people around her. And Kara Braxton wasn't just another name on a roster. She was a two-time WNBA champion. Read that again. A two-time champion. That's not a title that comes easy, and it's certainly not one that should ever be glossed over. Let it sink in just how rare and significant that is. Championships in professional sports are hard won, and they're harder still when you're a woman fighting for recognition in a world that too often overlooks your achievements. Her career spanned a decade in the WNBA, a true testament to her talent, resilience, and love for the game. Kara played for some of the league's most storied franchises: the Detroit Shock, the Tulsa Shock, the Phoenix Mercury, and the New York Liberty. Each stop, she left her mark. Before she even turned pro, she had already made waves in college basketball, earning SEC Freshman of the Year honors at Georgia in 2002. That's the kind of early promise that only the truly gifted show. In 2007, she became a WNBA All-Star, a recognition of her skill and the respect she commanded from her peers. The following year, her team, the Detroit Shock, took home the championship. It's easy to rattle off those accolades, but each one represents years of sacrifices, countless hours in the gym, and the kind of focus that very few people ever find. And here's a detail that stands out to me, a moment that feels almost cinematic. After that championship, Kara and her teammates were invited to the White House, where they met President Barack Obama. Imagine that, standing in the heart of American power, representing not just your team but the progress of women's sports, shaking hands with the president as a champion. That's a memory most of us can only dream of. For Kara, it was a milestone in a life that already sparkled with achievement. But as impressive as her stats and titles are, what really resonates are the stories people share about who Kara was as a person. The numbers are only one part of her legacy. The deeper, richer part is found in the relationships she built, the love she gave, and the way she showed up for others. Her former teammate Plenette Pearson wrote a tribute that struck me deeply. She called Kara Care Bear, a nickname that suggests warmth, comfort, and steadfastness. Plenette said, "This still feels unreal. I keep replaying memories and conversations because part of me expects to hear your voice again. Losing you hurts in a way words cannot hold. That's the kind of pain that defies language." If you've ever lost someone who was a pillar in your life, you know what that means. The ache doesn't fit into neat sentences. It spills over, uncontainable. Plenette went on to thank Kara for showing me what unconditional friendship looks like. That word, unconditional, carries so much weight. It means showing up no matter what. It means loving someone not for what they do, but for who they are. In a world where so many friendships are transactional or circumstantial, Kara embodied the rare kind of loyalty and devotion that changes lives. It made me think, how many of us have a friend like that? And perhaps more importantly, how often are we that friend for someone else? It's a question that lingers, inviting us to reflect not just on Kara's legacy, but on the way we live our own lives. But Kara's story goes even further, reaching into the most personal and profound aspects of her life, her role as a mother. She had two sons, Dream Jackson and Jelani Thurman. And if you follow college football, you probably recognize that second name. Jelani played for Ohio State, one of the most storied programs in the country. He wasn't just on the roster, he was part of the team when they clinched the national championship in 2204. Think about the pride in that, a champion mother raising a champion son. The echoes of her own success reverberating through the next generation. That's legacy in its purest form. After Kara's passing, Jelani paid tribute to her in heartfelt posts on Instagram. Ohio State honored her as well, sharing a video that's gone viral. A clip of Kara at one of Jelani's games, standing in the stands, arms wide open, embracing her son. Here is a woman who once stood victorious on the courts, now overflowing with joy and pride simply to support her child. That image is so powerful. It captures what so many mothers do so quietly every day. They channel all their energy, ambition, and love into their children, cheering harder for their kids' victories than they ever did for their own. It speaks to the universal truth of parenthood, that no matter how high you climb, the view is always sweeter when you're watching your child soar. Kara leaves behind her husband, Jarvis Jackson, her sons Dream and Jelani, and her twin sister, Kim. The mention of her twin struck me with particular force. There is a special, almost indescribable bond between twins, a connection that begins in the womb and often lasts a lifetime. To lose your twin is to lose your other half, the person who has shared your every milestone, every birthday, every heartbreak, and every joy. I can't fathom the depth of that grief, the sense of emptiness that must follow. It's a reminder of how loss ripples outward, touching lives in ways we don't always see. All of this circles back to that initial realization, the moment I first saw Kara Braxton's name and realized I didn't know her story. And honestly, that's a loss for all of us, because Kara's life is a testament to so many things: perseverance, excellence, friendship, motherhood, love, and legacy. She reminds us that there are countless women out there, athletes, mothers, friends, whose stories deserve to be told, celebrated, and remembered. We owe it to them, and to ourselves, to pay attention, to dig deeper, to give them more than just a passing mention. Kara Braxton wasn't just a champion on the court, she was a champion in life. And as we remember her, I hope we also remember to lift up the stories of all the women who inspire, nurture, and lead, often without the recognition they so richly deserve, because their stories, like Kara's, have the power to change us all.